Chat?
Picking up, and like I said, the first big or sort of freeway is the 126, which takes you out west through Fillmore and Santa Paula and puts you into Ventura. And as you continue down south past,
Well, I thought it was like
your way through the valley up there, it'll start loading up because there's a lot of people coming home from work.
Oh, this is Yapaton.
Going both directions, so the freeway will
GTA
load up
6
a little
teaser?
bit as he makes that approach, hitting Cal Grove and then climbing that little hill before the intersection with the 14 and then the 210. So it's going to get really.
Is that real though?
Now that we're off the freeway, does this will the sheriff's department get involved now?
9 times out of 10, no. At this point,
wait, you shot 4 people
with it because they've had it for so long. Now, if it gets deep into a city or deep into the county area, away from the freeway, then there's a chance that they will give it over to whatever agency's handling that area. But when it's running, right alongside the freeway,
so people that overanalyze,
they're going to stay. They're going to stay with it until
pre-release, like teasers or a little bit.
Continues on here.
Not right. Not me.
Road will take you over the top of the hills.
I always like a gross idea of what it's going to be, but there's not enough to make conclusions from that.
Work your way over towards Lake Elizabeth and then towards the Antelope Valley, if that's the direction. I believe that's the direction they're running. This road runs all the way through the hills for miles over to the Antelope Valley. So if they get too far out that way, there's a chance that the sheriff's department will take it.
So is that actually true?
Normally,
CHP
will stick with it.
So like some actual mass shooter? But why though?
Over the area, and they will just hand it off to their offices as they go along. So this helps with the continuity of the pursuit without having it handed off to the sheriff's department, and then 10 minutes later, it's back in their hands as it gets on.
Nobody gives a shit about water.
It's kind of a balance.
The people who care about water, care about reflections, care about shadows, and those people are not gamers. They're hose. Nobody cares.
Involved in this pursuit.
I couldn't give a rat's ass.
It's been handed off to Newhall at this point to take over this pursuit, and that Newhall watch commander will be making the decision.
Yeah, we're having a little problem with our signal here because of the area they're in.
Let
me ask you this. This is very isolated. We haven't seen a lot of traffic.
I gotta reset it. Hardware Excel is going to tell you.
They get the speeds down a little bit. Yeah, they'll be able to do it in this area, no problem at all. The only issue is the sides of the road. You don't want to take them out to where they spin and go over the side and down into a ravine. But something.
Well, yeah, this is terrible.
Nice and flat on either side.
But I mean, if you shot 4 people, I mean,
flood control on either side would be great. But you have to get it down into the prescribed speed limit to be able to do it. To do it safely, because if you do it at too high of a speed, it's not only unsafe for the
Chad, is that a Tesla?
It's unsafe for the officer.
It doesn't maybe like a Tesla. Oh no, it's not because of the back right here. It's
well. So that's not
what they're doing. Kia.
So they have very strict rules on when you can engage a pit maneuver and where you can do that. So, and they practice that all the time.
And again, you're looking live at a pursuit, which is now on Lake Hughes Road. When we picked up this pursuit, the driver was on the 5 freeway heading south. He is considered armed and dangerous. It all started. We're not exactly sure how he ended up on the 5 freeway heading south, but he managed to get there.
A pit maneuver off the table on such a narrow road, especially with the
Chris
and the hillsides here. You really can't, you don't want to play
Chris is live on here from the helicopter and ABC7 live only in the air with a high FPS camera with live casting.
That was a really hairy situation there when he got off the
helicopter.
Because there was always the risk of other motorists
Eyewitness
who were right there at that intersection.
SkyMax 7 live air.
Really holding back. He almost had an opportunity there to execute the pit, but he did the right thing and just let that suspect accelerate right under the freeway. Again, the important thing for everybody to remember, including all of the officers like they're trained, is that they have time on their side. Especially in an environment like this, there is very little risk to the public. There's no other motorists around.
Well said.
There is really very little, room for this guy to escape anywhere. It's unlikely he's going to even get away at the end of this pursuit. He does not appear to be in great physical shape.
If he is disregarded,
so with all of that taken into account, they can just let this go at a nice casual clip all the way
People's
up Lake
well-being
Hughes
before
Road until he forces their hand some other way. And the hope
they might terminate
is that
it when
he
they have a
either
chance.
runs out of gas or just decides to pull over. But what I can tell you is that we have information from our assignment desk
Can I get
that
and
the
enjoy your
CHP
state
airplane,
well, I mean, he doesn't have to.
fixed-wing airplane,
Yeah, he knows that.
did indeed track this suspect all the way from Pomona, presumably along the 210 freeway, into the valleys, up Santa Clarita, and eventually up the Grapevine, where CHP ground units picked it up right near Magic Mountain in that area, and eventually led him all the way down here to Lake Hughes Road. So they have had good eyes on this suspect from the very beginning.
I don't know where he's going, though.
Something that took place, a violent
So what if he
crime
takes a jump?
in the city of Pomona that they were investigating, Pomona PD initiating the pursuit, and California Highway Patrol's fixed-wing airplane tracking this suspect all the way up here. So it's not a case of, is this the right suspect? Of course they have to wonder
Well,
that.
saying,
but there's a really
think of a crime that big. I
they
mean,
have had good eyes on the suspect vehicle, and that they have a good positive ID. Most likely, this is going to be their guy. It's just a matter of taking him into custody as safely as possible without putting anybody in danger. And again, this is the best part about this pursuit, is we could talk about it for hours on end until he runs out of gas.
This is not
but
muted,
up
is it?
here, there is very
it says
little
muted, it's not,
harm
look.
that could be done. The risk level in
Double
this
click, Rich.
pursuit has dropped dramatically. Even on the, I said earlier, you wouldn't want to see it anywhere else, but an empty freeway. But you know what? If you had to pick a place, I would say this is as good a place as any to see this pursuit come to an end.
Yeah, and safe to assume that whatever happened in Pomona, if it is related to this driver, was a serious crime, because they do not seem to be letting up. And as you mentioned, they are letting time go by. They're not in a rush.
Like, what is brother
continuing
doing
to follow this suspect? And we've already heard that he is armed and dangerous. And
there's
again,
nothing here.
There was some sort of criminal
It's one road.
police activity in Pomona. Not sure if it is related, but this pursuit did start in Pomona, so we can perhaps start piecing together some of the pieces of the puzzle.
Your description, Chris, does remind us of all the tools that law enforcement has that we don't even think about. They've been on this guy for quite some time. I'm pretty sure on who he might be. And it also begs a question, when he veered off the freeway and perhaps saw those spike strips and had to take that exit, it wasn't because he wanted to take that exit. He may not know where he is right now. Clearly, this is not a heavily traveled road at all. Not a lot of people have been on this road, and he may just be wondering where am I?
Right, and you know, a lot of other pursuit drivers in his position, whether they were speeding or whether they are under the influence or whatever the case would normally, would often be, I should say, might not have had the chance to make that game time decision and get off the freeway. But again, at the speeds he's doing, he is driving so composed that he had every opportunity to methodically exit the freeway at a safe speed, even was able to negotiate his way out of that pit maneuver and then onto Lake Hughes Road here. Again, I can tell you this, in all likelihood, don't know this for sure, but if I was a betting man, once in a while, I would bet a lot of money this was not in his plan. Lake Hughes Road was not in his playbook when he started his
an unprecedented event. We've never seen it before.
He is now on most likely
waiting for him to come around
unfamiliar territory,
because it's Ewing.
Just going to take this as long as he can. And up here, there's lots of road to play with. I mean, I'm looking at canyons up here.
Because the road is Ewing.
Postcard pretty today. I mean, it's a beautiful
he's locked
take a
in,
drive up Lake Hughes Road. But for this guy, he's got a lot more in store.
Yeah, so far, no place to run and hide, that's for sure. There's no parking garages to duck into, no streets to run down or alleys to hit. He's got wide open space, and there's no way to run and hide.
And,
nope, not at all. I mean,
go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
Nah, I don't have a parlay on this, unfortunately.
No, it's like I was just going to reiterate, patience is the name of the game. Patience on the part of those law enforcement officers is everything right now.
So I'm thinking about an idea that could end a pursuit like this.
This is idyllic situation. There is
idyllic?
Geography
is that true,
that you don't want to be. If he does run or if he off-roads, God forbid he starts to off-road unexpectedly, or gets agitated.
A drone
that
goes on top of the car,
hits a guardrail or
drops
something like that.
Small
there are some safety
hot coal on the
measures here
engine
that they're
top,
going to take. They're not going to take these hairpin turns
and it
too quickly
melts
if he
into the
speeds up,
engine
right?
block and
but
breaks
again,
the engine.
They don't have to. He's not going that fast. He really is providing them he's well aware they're no more than 6 or 7 car lengths behind him. They're not losing a visual of him. They've got clear eyes on the ground.
No?
They've got clear eyes up above. The entire, everybody's watching this guy. This guy has all the eyes that he never anticipated this guy's. And now he's in a situation where he's in a real pickle with very few options. Here come these hairpin turns I'm talking about.
Wait, they're going for pit here?
Straddling the double
maybe
yellow
they know that it's safe?
Normally would be unsafe, but really, look at that. See, this is what I'm talking about. If he gets spooked or takes his eyes off the road, there are, you know, really unsafe opportunities. He's all over the road now. All of a sudden, he is all over the paint, unnecessarily crossing over the double yellow lines and just crossed over that white line. He was on the right shoulder there with no guardrail as he made that turn, and now he's really driving a little bit more erratically through these really tight turns.
So you get a lot more traction when you're on the uphill, so
he needs to slow down and stay in his lane here, and eventually this is going to come to a peaceful end. But if he starts driving any more dangerously than he has been, this could go.
He's not using all the track space though.
I mean,
wait, they're getting really close though.
Steep hills here.
No way did they pit this guy off the mountain, right?
Then that could, you know, cause him to do something really stupid.
Yeah, and Lake Hughes Road, I just looked up, is a 24-mile canyon road, so they could be on this road for a very,
24
very
miles?
long time. What are his speeds right now? We did see him speed up just a moment ago, but generally speaking, he's been driving fairly slowly.
Yeah, up here he can't really go too fast. I mean, this is there really are a lot of twists and turns through these mountains. This is no longer hills.
And 30 minutes.
We graduated to bona fide mountains about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And
no,
now,
they can easily get ahead of him. There's other counties that are further up.
He's doing about 40 miles per hour.
I don't think they would.
40 to 50. If he slowed down a little more, he would be in pit maneuver territory, but I don't think we're going to see that
Look at that ravine, though.
soon, considering the narrow nature of Lake Hughes Road through here. It's just too narrow and obviously too dangerous when you look at the geography over here.
Yeah.
So I think temporarily that's been taken off the table. Again, you know, there are other
Georgia
agencies,
State
including
Patrol
LAPD,
would have literally ran them from the back at the peak apex on the biggest hill they could have found, and would have sent them straight to heaven.
Does allow CHP to pit an armed and dangerous suspect, even if he is armed. So he is dangerous. He is driving safely, but when this comes to an end, they have a very unpredictable human behind the wheel that they are going to have to contend with, and that's why they have the tools at their disposal.
Is Bubba to make a roadblock? Not commonly, but I've never seen this scenario before.
The fact that other people could be coming the other way as well, so it's dangerous not only for the officers and the suspect, but whoever else might be coming. Continue to follow this pursuit as it continues on. We will go to David Muir, World News, right after this in about a minute or a few seconds. We'll move over to our digital channels to continue to cover this.
Yeah, this will continue, but not the TV.
A rather dangerous pursuit. Keep in mind, this is believed to be an armed suspect.
This broadcast is the live broadcast on the internet, and it stays patched through
Lake Hughes Road.
Internet broadcast. They're just patching it through.
Yeah, but for now, we thank you for watching Eyewitness News at 6, and we will go to World News tonight.
We're not going to see the patch. You'll see
this pursuit on our streaming channel.
And then, bang, see, they patch it through, and we don't see it. See?
All right, welcome to our streaming channel as we continue to follow this pursuit down Lake Hughes Road and a windy road at that. And Chris, the terrain is changing a little bit.
Yeah, the terrain is changing. There are actually people that live in this little area here. I don't even know if it's got a name, but there are some. There is a small little community up here, but as far as I can tell, I'm just trying to look out for anybody coming in the opposite direction. Obviously,
these houses, what the?
But it does make you nervous when he crosses over. For a while, I had really good visibility.
Like those barn houses in the hills.
And for the longest time, he had nobody. I mean, this is the only thing happening on Lake Hughes Road right now. There is no traffic to speak of. I wanted to mention also LA County Sheriff has now brought in their airship, so they are now tracking this from the air as well. Again, it goes to show you lots of resources in play at the ready here as this pursuit continues along Lake Hughes Road, coming up on Warm Springs Fish Canyon. And again, as far as I could tell, again, you know, he was in a little bit of a woodsy area that made me a little nervous, but now I've got better visibility into the road.
See, chat, look,
and there's nobody.
Chat always says, what do you mean a police plane? Yeah, see, when things are serious enough, they bring the police plane. This is a police plane.
So CHP has his rear covered, and coming up ahead here, as far as I can tell, and I say it with some hesitation in my voice, because a lot of times you might see a motorcyclist or two speeding down.
Yes, it's a police
road over
plane.
Here. This is this is joyride territory. You want to go for a Sunday drive, you want to take the bike out. This is prime real estate, and that is why it makes me a little bit nervous when he started picking up a little bit of speed through some of these hairpin turns, especially with the cliffs. I mean, he's really driving on the edge.
This comes out of the taxpayer money.
White line onto the shoulder.
All maintenance, fuel, and repairs used on those flights should go directly billed to the family and the criminal. Everybody in their bloodline should get the bill. I mean, why do we pay for this shit? We don't. We don't pay for this shit.
Are going to smooth out, and he's going to have a straightaway for the next.
They should foot the bill,
miles, or at least a relative straightaway compared to those twists and turns we were watching there for a little bit as he makes his way further up into the mountains. He is going up.
If they continuously allow crime to happen deliberately and not pursue convictions against criminals, then we shouldn't pay for all the measures that go into getting them.
But can you recap for us what we know?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so that's important. So he eventually was caught up by CHP after Pomona PD tried to pull him over. Pomona PD was working a violent crime in their city limits, and this is their suspect. Now, they weren't able to keep up with him, but the CHP airplane was able to track
Drone Spider
from Pomona in the San Gabriel Valley all the way out into the San Fernando
Drone
Valley.
Comes in, drops a spider
Clarita, where CHP,
on the hood.
Black and Whites were able to catch up with him on the ground and pick up this pursuit on the ground.
Pierces a hole,
following it almost
then dumps foam
at relatively
inside the engine,
all the
and
way
it
up
engulfs
the freeway,
and it
up the Grapevine, all the way almost
suffocates the engine.
to Fraser Park, where he turned around unexpectedly, made an unexpected U-turn, and came back down the southbound side of the 5 freeway. There were several spike strips attempted this afternoon. He was able to get around one of them. And then when we thought he was going to continue into Santa Clarita, he actually saw another spike strip ahead, and that's where we've got videotape of him getting off the freeway at a very safe speed. He was able to negotiate that, get off the freeway.
I think this is one of my better ideas,
under the 5 freeway, and that's what put him on Lake Hughes Road, where he is in very barren territory, CHP, with no traffic to contend with here. He has had very little traffic this entire pursuit for the most part. It's basically been him in the road.
Is that earlier? Earlier.
And that's it. And these CHP officers the entire time. They don't have a lot of other vehicles in their way here. So we don't know how much fuel is in this Kia sedan, but he's got to be running low eventually.
So why not just a drone
one way or
that
the other.
spikes it?
I wonder if there's another way up there. Like, let's say, for instance, if they can get a CHP officer ahead of them with a spike strip and these blind turns, that could be a tactic, but I just don't know if there's a way to get there.
I don't think so. I think you said it. This is only a 24-mile road, and there's nothing that can connect to it until he gets to Lake Hughes. Lake Hughes Road ends at Lake Hughes, right near Elizabeth Lake, where he's going to have to turn onto either left or right onto Elizabeth Lake Road. These are really rural areas, and there really is not much access to Lake Hughes Road.
Even when he turns, where is he going to go?
To Lake Hughes Road for at least the next, I'm going to say roughly, I think another...
A retreat center.
8 or 10 miles, maybe even a little less.
Like,
but,
what the
first time
Volcano!
We're seeing that passenger side window roll down, and again, he's rifling through something with his right hand, and that is distracting him. Look at him. He's all over the paint again, messing with something And he just threw something out. He just threw something out the passenger window and almost drove off the road. He's picking up speed and threw something out the window very unexpectedly. Here on Lake Hughes Road, doing about 45 to 50 miles per hour.
It's live.
Almost swerved
above
off
broadcast.
the road. You saw that. He rolled down the passenger side window for the first time in this pursuit. Something came flying out. He threw something out the window. Not sure what it was. I could not make it out, but if you guys can re-rack that video, you're going to have a better shot, a better monitor than I have that might be able to identify. If you could slow it down in slow motion, you might be able to see what it was. Didn't look like a weapon, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, we'll try to get a closer look. I wonder if this is an indication that he's thinking there's no way out of this. Oh, some more.
He's throwing more stuff. Yes. He's throwing more evidence out the window. He just threw something else out the window.
What kind of luck is that, man?
They see what he's doing. At least one or two of those CHP officers will stop and grab whatever he's throwing. But he is clearly now very desperate to get rid of the evidence. There is evidence in that passenger seat. There's a bag. He's rifling through it. We've seen him on the phone for most of this afternoon during this pursuit, and now he has made the decision that he's on borrowed time, and he thinks that by throwing whatever it is out the window, it's going to save him something. It's not going to save him anything. No. But he is very agitated now. He is very distracted, more importantly. And if he continues this behavior, still throwing stuff out the window, that is the third object we've seen thrown out the window. These are not small objects, by the way. He is throwing
is that the whole bag?
Something of substance out the window. This is not paper. He's throwing something out the window. This is the third time
I can see that.
We've seen objects fly out that window, and every time he almost drives off the road or he drives over the median here. We're trying to keep eyes on him.
We almost saw him.
We are on borrowed time ourselves because of our fuel situation. So we're going to try and take this and keep eyes on him as long as we can. Here comes somebody in the opposite direction. Not law enforcement. Here comes an innocent motorist coming the other way. Oh no, that's him. I'm sorry. I thought we were looking ahead. We're looking behind us. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I thought we turned. I was looking out the window here. In any event, that is him now coming towards us. We now have a really great view of him coming at us, and if we push in, depending on the lighting here, we might be able to see what else is going on inside the car. But we did see.
We can't see. We need a drone.
Three substantial objects thrown out that window.
Yeah, and I wonder if CHP, as you mentioned, saw that, and one of those units will stop and try to retrieve it, although probably hard to do. But I wonder if that's they'd like. You know.
I'm sure they do, though, Chris.
Yeah, almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. We'll go when we have a chance. We will count the units.
The roads have the little fences. The white fence, just like
pulled off
in GTA.
The evidence. And that's very much what it is. They will be desperate.
What was that?
Evidence, and it should be very defined. They have all
Mountain Lion, Coyote?
Pinpoint locations of where those objects
were thrown, and
they didn't get very far. He just basically tossed them out the window, and I think that
Chris,
will be used against him in a court of law.
So why would you put a go-kart track right next to a cliff?
Carolina,
he's still throwing stuff out the window.
He's still throwing stuff out.
Continuing to throw things out. He's still throwing stuff out the window. He's not done. He's back over the double yellow lines, continuing to throw things out the window. He's rifling through this bag. I'm sorry, David. I am looking. I do see. We've got that video from earlier, and
there's a close-up.
The director
has
the opportunity. There it is, slow motion.
It's bait.
And I wasn't able to see it.
I couldn't either.
Maybe you guys were.
It looks like it's something rectangular and flat.
Yes.
It's bait. It's bait.
But hard to make. What it is. Yeah. It's too blurry.
Tough.
Yeah. But he's thrown things out, as you mentioned, several times.
Could be drugs, could be anything.
He's thrown 4 objects,
I think it's bait
out the window, and now he's got both hands off the wheel.
He's still
both hands off the wheel,
something.
Continuing to rifle through this bag. This is not going to end well if his driving changes. You know, you had a little bit of confidence in this guy because he was driving so safely for so long, and now he appears desperate to get rid of whatever evidence is in that bag, and that is affecting his driving. He is severely.
Is that a prison? What is this?
And for the first time, moments ago, took both hands off the wheel. This is a
that the retreat center
situation for everybody all of a sudden if he continues with that kind of behavior. But again, they see what he's up to. and they will find those objects. There is very little doubt in my mind that they will not collect whatever he's throwing out.
I can't.
So I wonder what lies ahead for him, Chris. You said it ends at Lake Hughes.
Rescue mission.
Is there a lot of room for him to maneuver, or is he basically going to find himself in a place where he can't go anywhere?
I'm sorry, David. Looking up ahead here, it looks like he's got a few twists and turns, but for the most part, really nothing in his way. There's another car going in the same direction. He's not a factor. And yeah, no, as far as I could tell, for the next mile or two, we are learning.
We are just hearing that the driver may have a dog in the car with him. Chris, I don't know if you've seen any evidence of that, but we certainly haven't.
I wonder.
Are you able to?
Yeah, we're having some signals. A little bit of signal issue, Chris. We have your shot. We can't always hear you, but what we said was we're getting information that he might have a dog on board.
Might have a dog on board. There are reports that law enforcement is in communication with a relative of the driver, and that relative is informing them that there might be a dog inside the car. I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah,
certainly the dog could be in the back seat. But up until now, we have not seen any evidence of an animal inside this car. Obviously,
no,
it's really
they could easily fake that they're a relative and it's just a friend.
Get the dog out and I don't want to prejudge, but
just
so
that they're nice or whatever. They shouldn't fully trust surveillance reports.
I mean, that is information that they now have. It may very well be a dog inside in the rear of the vehicle. It's certainly possible, and it sounds like they are at least talking to a relative. That may allow them to get a relative on the phone
is it a
and
cookie
start to talk this guy
maple?
off the ledge, so to speak. If they can get a crisis negotiator on the line, they may be able to actually negotiate with this driver mid-pursuit. It's certainly a possibility. We've seen it plenty of times in the past, but now that they have a hotline with a relative, that's a good indication. That's a good sign, if nothing else.
Yeah, some communication is taking place somewhere, so that is a good sign. Somebody's trying to make a difference. Hopefully he didn't throw his cell phone out with all that other stuff, and he still has that. I'm sure he does, but you never know.
It didn't seem like it was a cell phone. Yeah, it just didn't seem. It didn't have the heft.
The first thing that we showed was like it seemed flat and rectangular. I thought, could that be a cell phone? But
it looked like
I don't know.
underwear wrapper.
It's probably not.
I'm not sure. If it does have a dog in the car, it may explain the weaving, but not sure.
No.
We haven't really seen.
Okay, let's watch the video again. Take a good close look, and then we do. It's real time right there, and then we will.
That was something he threw out.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the first thing that he threw out. This is on the right-hand side. This is the video from earlier. And then I do believe that we have it in slow-mo as well. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Hard to say.
It's bait. It's bait.
Flat, rectangular,
sure
maybe.
Is. But likely some
maybe
piece of evidence
a bottle
that he doesn't want to be caught with.
It seems like he's slowing down, Chris.
Oh!
Suspect slowing down. He is slowing down.
Oh,
I'm losing you a little bit, guys, but he is slowing down. He's coming to a stop.
We understand.
He's probably fidgeting.
He's on Lake Hughes Road.
Maybe looking at
Devere Court.
And
there is a spike strip.
He went around it.
Or at least yeah, he went around it.
What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what the fuck is he doing?
So he's still on Lake Hughes Road. And look at that. People up here already familiar with what's coming down the pike here, and look at that, more CHP units.
They're all
more
over.
CHP units ready to take this pursuit over. Here comes the handoff. They have just handed this off to the Antelope Valley. Antelope Valley office.
Oh man, I don't know if we can trust these guys. We'll see, I guess.
Units, brand new eyes and vehicles behind the suspect.
And what the?
That was well coordinated and well planned out, and that handoff has now been successfully
completed. Why would they pre-set up and pre-angle themselves if they're going to swap leading units?
Take this pursuit all the way up the state of California if he decided to go that far, right? They have unlimited resources, and for an armed and dangerous suspect at this point in the evening, they will exhaust all of them until this comes to an end. And so that handoff has
what is that water?
Over. He may be running out of gas, but those new primary units.
So these guys, they need to drive an hour and a half to go to
go
to
I guess
to the store.
It increases the danger a bit. As you can see, there are a lot of buildings and homes in this community, so there could be some obstacles or cars coming the other way finally, so it's not as wide open, at least in that little spot, Chris, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up ahead here. There's, again, 1 or 2 vehicles traveling on his side of the road, but there really is no traffic to speak of. Unfortunately, the only problem is that it's just a narrow road, so that limits their options. You have 2 lanes, 1 lane in either direction, nobody coming, but it's just not enough room for a safe pit maneuver. That's the problem. If they see one,
that looks nice.
An opportunity,
dude, what a nice driveway, though.
It does widen up a little bit. There's an intersection coming up. They could actually,
this got a big property.
Go ahead and let's clock him one more time, Josh. What's he doing now? About 45? Yeah, I'm going to say about 45, 55 miles. Yeah, he's doing right around 45 miles per hour. So at 45 miles per hour, the road is widening up a little bit up ahead here. They may try it out. But again, this is a new primary unit.
Hello, Felix.
There is a new boss in town.
Whoa, that house is huge!
And
so they may want to feel it out a
big ass
bit
compound
before they reauthorize that pit maneuver that may have already taken
And look,
place.
you can do some ATV in the off-road.
But
Look at that.
tells me, as I said earlier, patience is really...
Or maybe some horse riding.
It's a virtue in these situations because there's just no reason to rush it. And already we saw what he was capable of once when they came up behind him as he got off of the 5 freeway and they tried to execute that pit. The first thing he did
is a 3-star chase. There's no 4-star chases. It's not really a thing.
He's onto their tactics.
Very rare.
So it's going to play into their decision making whether they if and when they try that pit maneuver again. But again, these are brand new units in the pursuit. Lots of time on
you need heavy vehicles or armored or special units vehicles for it to be 4 stars. It has to be
There's traffic coming from
big ass reinforced vans, a Bearcat, tank. Tank is fine, but I mean, it's happened before. Tank.
And then after this next car, which is right there pulling over, here's the sirens. That's the right thing to do. And now he's got a straightaway up ahead here with nobody on the
tank,
road.
Yeah, it's happened before. A tank.
A wide open road. This is Elizabeth Lake Road, by the way. He did make the right onto Elizabeth Lake when this new pursuit package took over. We have a primary, secondary, and a backup unit. All brand new.
Yeah, they killed those guys, but we don't talk about that.
Right as he approached
we don't mention that incident.
Onto Elizabeth Lake, and he is now traveling along Elizabeth Lake Road at about 45, 50 miles per hour. Again, this is an armed and dangerous suspect who is capable of damage, and so they are treating him with care as they try and bring him to a peaceful resolution.
This guy is fucking swerving in the rocks.
Enough to try and throw evidence out the window of the moving vehicle, and in the process almost lost control.
Oh, look at this little house.
So that speaks, I think, a lot to his mental state, David and Giovanna. You get a picture into his mind when you start to see that kind of behavior.
Oh, what is that?
He is a
tumbleweed?
Individual.
Was that fucking tumbleweed?
Knows that his time
I've never seen a live tumbleweed.
And hopefully he thinks carefully about it.
A bird. That's fucking boring.
You know, it's going to come to an end here one way or the other. We can just hope that it comes to a peaceful resolution.
But there's no indication on his part that he is ready to give up. This has been going now for...
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, other than the fact that only he has eyes on that.
You know what's crazy?
Page, right?
I bet you that residents here probably like their little scooter or Vespa with no helmet on, like cruising sometimes just to chill because there's so little people there.
He may think he can you know, find an escape route or try and navigate his way out of this. He may think he can outrun the law, but it really is
I'm
just
saying
not
that makes it kind of risky.
as we can see from our perch, right? So we know that he's on borrowed time.
Tumbleweeds are sick.
I would say
tumbleweeds not sick. They're invasive species.
Just a matter, again,
they group up and stack and cause massive damage to ecosystem and
of the vehicle. The amount of
cities.
gas in that tank that will dictate, I think.
Yes, they are. Tumbleweeds are
Yeah,
extremely invasive.
Not know what to do and just keep driving until he can't drive any longer, and then that's the big question:
How do you not,
if he is in fact
you can say LARP, but you just don't know. I know
what happens next.
There's massive incidents of tumbleweed overtaking entire
Take over our coverage. Thank you so
towns,
much. You're doing a great
job.
Giovanna and myself are signing off. Thank you for your great coverage.
Tumbleweed takeover.
Hopefully this does end well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We really hope that he starts to think twice here. It would make everybody's evening a lot.
Look at this shit.
But unfortunately,
he is
really.
I mean, look at that.
Just up against here. This is a guy who is desperate to get away, and we counted earlier in this pursuit there was a full package of 6 vehicles on Lake Hughes Road. If you're just joining us, you're watching a pursuit that's been going on for over an hour at this point. And on Lake Hughes Road, before he got onto Elizabeth Lake, he was throwing objects out the vehicle. Some of those units stopped to pick up the objects. A new pursuit package has taken over this pursuit, and there are now about 7 black and whites in pursuit of this black.
Windows are back up, and he's locked in.
We do not know the exact nature of the crime, except for the fact that it was.
You said it was a multi-shooter.
And this suspect is armed and dangerous. He is wanted by Pomona PD, California Highway Patrol, exhausting lots of resources to bring this pursuit to a safe conclusion. But he has taken us from Pomona through the San Gabriel Valley, all the way through the city of LA, into the San Fernando Valley, into Santa Clarita Valley, all the way up the Grapevine, up the 5 freeway, made a random U-turn, came back down the 5 freeway, and before he got to Castaic, made
one of
a
the
left
problems
turn
with
on Lake.
When the car track.
Likely he's going to go until the car runs out of gas. He's not going to run
Yo,
out of
Fox News, guys, listen.
I know of.
You guys need to bring in the police guy when there's questions and relevance for the matter at hand, and leave him on standby and get a lifetime cast like Chris Christie. Yo, you guys got access to Stu. Get Stu on the. He loves this shit. Get Stu on the air. Why is Stu not casting this motherfucker right now? He didn't quit. He loves his job. He was glazing all of his staff today. He was saying, oh my God, I love the announcer desk. I love the guys that work out there. I love the people that do the production. Love you guys. Like, he was glazing hard. He loves his job. His personal life is a whole different story, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he likes it. I respect that, man. Committed to his job. He's passionate about his job.
Hey, the answer is yes.
Oh my God, so loud. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You know what? I don't care. I don't care about
So loud.
Did you ever play Webkins? I just beat my record on Bullseye Batter.
I am legally married. I am legally married. That's about the only way you can really say it. I am legally married. But I am not looking at now at all. I just had a bunch of debacles with my personal life.
I only know Steve.
It's true. I know. It's
the guy who absolutely demolished you in Splatoon yesterday. Keep painting Spawn Buddy.
And, you know, but, yeah, I got nothing right now. Got nothing, not really looking. You know, trying to find myself and be happy. I'm being serious about that. I want to be beholden to no one at this moment. You know, do I get lonely? Of course, but I got cats. So.
Okay, chat.
5 years in the jungle family.
Since we have no audio on this,
for the memories.
I just decided to put in a classic, funny clip.
Like this driver, well, slowing down here and making a turn.
I put a classic helicopter clip over the
west. Again, still an isolated area. We're going to stick with this as long as we can. Unfortunately, it looks like Sky Fox may run out of fuel before this guy does. But we'll see how it all plays out for us, Tim.
Who's still got fuel? BBC?
Avenue Cave runs toward east-west type roadway, and it'll run over towards the 14 freeway down. As the numbers drop down,
who's got fuel? Who's got fuel?
To the freeway on K, and K is just as
solar panels
over the hill into the valley, it starts out, I believe, at S and then works its way down all the way to A as you leave the county of Los Angeles in the Kearns. So kind of have an idea how the roadways work out there. But K is about, a third of the way up.
If solar panels are infinite energy, why don't they just put them
through due east towards the 14 freeway now? But he's got a long ways to go because it's down.
I mean, if it's energy forever,
like Avenue K and 10,
put a bunch of them, and then DG.
When you start getting really close to that 14 freeway, so it's going to come in, not too.
Even if it's not efficient, it's still pure.
Pretty much have a lot of.
It's not corroding. It's not breaking, is it?
That's where they're going to have to start being careful of pedestrians and cross traffic, but not like out here. This would be a great place to do a pit, but his speeds are way too high for that. But
why would it degrade?
Spike strip to cross all that with that wide shoulder. I don't believe they'd have enough spike strips.
So why don't they just put a rod of metal all the way down to the core of the Earth and just do geothermal for global?
You got to continue not doing that.
Yeah, so we're told this particular road will actually head toward Quartz Hill. But as you mentioned, if he gets on the 14, we picked this up. He was on the 5
Silver-colored wig.
South.
Midlife crisis.
Headed toward
sponsored
the metro
skater.
area in here in Los
Teen-foot
Angeles,
jog out of
San
breath.
Fernando Valley.
Drink water out of
If he gets on the
faucet.
14,
Grow up.
that's going to hook him up with a 5. And he
XQCL.
could end up there anyway, like he was maybe originally planned. But if that's
the
the case,
pressure.
it's quite a detour to get there.
Retard.
Absolutely. I mean, unless his driving map is telling
I always said nuclear is good because it's safe if you do it right. But I have, in recent times, after really learning about all the incidents that happened with nuclear, my conclusion is this. I still think that, but 10% less, 9%, because humans aren't safe. You can have the safest technology, but it's irrelevant if you don't have safe humans. And dog shit humans are absolutely everywhere, and when it comes down to doing the right thing, they don't. They don't.
And then you'll start seeing houses, and it'll get more populated.
Let me guess, they should use drones.
So, the deputies and the CHP officers who are behind this will have to adjust as it goes along. And just like I said, you're reacting to what the driver does.
I mean, look at Japan.
You're always waiting for the worst.
Japan, with the incident, they had the choice to flood the reactor with salt water, which would have solved the problem, but would have corroded their technology irreparably. And they decided not to do it, and it f***ed everybody over.
Yeah, it goes really fast at the end. You've been driving this long, you're kind of calmed down, you're just kind of cruising along and not really on high alert when you really should be. And that's what you have to really remember is this thing can come to an end in an instant. You can
this is a crazy take.
Jam on the brakes and game on.
But if even Japan did it wrong,
react to that. So
I can't think
going through a four-way stop
of who would do it right.
Now. So
I think they usually do pretty good.
Of time to see where he ends up. But you see the Avenue K, the number is dropping down. We're at 70th now, and that will continue to reduce the numbers the closer we get to the 14 freeway.
So I know you've seen this plenty of times, from the air, but this is basically that area between Victorville and Lancaster, correct? Which is just a lot of roads that have
all different ways preventing runaway events.
And pretty much they all run straight, right? East to west?
Oh, they're pretty much straight.
Look up how many people die to air pollution. Nuclear is still better.
Valley, you look towards where the sun sets and those hills go up.
Okay.
You just come out of those hills.
Air pollution is a secondary problem to other elements that people are okay with, unfortunately. But when it comes to a nuclear event happening that's bad, it's a one instance that you can definitely pinpoint. Bang! We should avoid this. That's completely different. It is completely. You cannot compare those two types of death or loss of life. It's not in the same category. It's in a completely different angle.
Victorville. I mean, Victorville's on the far east end of the valley, and hopefully we don't end up there because it'll be dark by the time he gets there. And, you know, that's going to be way too long for these officers. But the thing is, that's the reason why they hand it off from office to office, is to keep a fresh
because
officer.
When it comes down to the status quo of things, we could always go more. What about all the pans with the lead? What about people that what about the smog? What about the whoa oh sh
there, so up the off side of the road there.
Yeah, that you think that may be fatigue on his part?
Could be, or he could have been reached down to pick something up, or got distracted a little bit in the car and drove off the road. He could very well be on.
What about health insurance?
To, you know,
what about
people in his circle?
What about
to figure out what to do?
Insurance as a whole? What about access to medication and access to well-priced
some people just stop. They
medication?
have to be aware of that.
This is not called whataboutism.
Other drivers on the road.
If you do a whataboutism, I'm showing you how there isn't some higher priority shit that's causing even more deaths, and you don't even blink an eye about it.
You have a bunch of police cars coming at you.
Because it's a
just stop here.
Oh, did you hit that?
Right there, yeah. Unless there was a spike strip.
It's a perpetual problem that is constant and not dealt with, compared to a one single big event that can be prevented that causes a massive loss of life.
Towards the police car, then went on around, so that could have been an avoidance maneuver, and hopefully the officer was able, because what you do is you put.
No, Jake, I actually often talk about that, about how good China is doing it. I actually, I try to keep myself well educated about the ongoings of China and how better they do with pollution, emission, human rights, work, all that.
Check to see the playback.
I do.
Possibly did hit the spike strip. That left rear.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like there might be damage there.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty low on that side. So we'll see if you start seeing the car kind of swerve a little bit, and you know, just little tiny fishtails. That's a good indication that the rubber is going away, and then you'll start seeing pieces of
because
rubber.
it's some sectors that they've been heavily criticized for over the last decades. That they've made significant improvements on it, that people still give them flack.
Well, it looks like it's front.
And they're not even talking about the rate of improvement.
Looks like it may have blown.
Yeah, good spike in.
Oh, yeah, his tire's going to fly off.
It doesn't blow the tires. What it does.
Chat, how do we mute the bottom left bus to and listen to the other guy? PLS help me.
Needle, and it is embedded in rubber, and when you run over it, you smash the rubber down. The needle comes out, goes into the tire, and then stays in the tire, and slowly lets the air out. So you don't want it to, you know, blow out and the person go out of control. So it slowly lets out the air. The car goes down to the, you know, the tire goes down to the rim, and the rim is running on the actual rubber, and that continued driving.
Believe it or not,
and just basically cuts the tread away.
The tire flying off is actually good.
Rubber come rolling off there because it's just basically.
Because right now it's right. But once it flies off, he can drive on the rim. He can absolutely drive on the rim. The rim is not that bad. Contrary to popular belief, the rim is not that bad. They can control, drive, turn properly. Even with shit cars. But you got to get rid of that rubber. So sometimes they kind of swerve and it goes boom.
And you'll start seeing dust come off the tire. The drive tires, more than likely the front tires in this car. And that's when you know that you've run rubber
Rockstar playthroughs?
On steel.
Yeah, we can do that. So we can do a marathon soon.
And that gets very hard to accelerate and also to be able to steer the car. So luckily that also puts your speeds down in the 20s as we're seeing. And
look, it's still on.
New sub badges.
And even at this speed, they could go up and push it around into a pit maneuver.
Jake said, "Come to Guangdong."
Newer cars will shut off if they go backwards while the car is in drive. So hopefully that'll take that away. Plus, if you get them stopped, it's very hard for them to drive away, even if the engine does stay running.
Well, it looks like at least on the driver's side, he's down to the rims.
Yeah, I bet you on the right side it's the same. Just he doesn't have any drive left to where probably just spinning the tires, spinning the rims on the asphalt. and so you'll start seeing chunks of rubber coming off and laying behind it. But,
Chad, they're not pitting because armed and dangerous, and with the crime that he's suspected of doing, turning the car around is no good. With an armed suspect that is
go till he runs out of gas. That's not
erratic and unpredictable.
No.
You don't want to spin the car around and have a guy with a gun turn it towards the cops. It's just it's needlessly dangerous.
It'll eventually grind it down to where the frame sets down on the ground, and you're not going to be able to push it anymore. It's just gonna become a brick. It's not gonna, unless he has a lot of power in.
Yeah, maybe a China tour, okay.
Rim, you're just going to run out of drive, run out of contact with the asphalt, and you're not going to have any way of getting motion. So he can spin those rims all he wants. He's not
maybe I'm going to go see the boys at Marble Revels.
Delaying the inevitable, and that's what we're going to have here. But hopefully this doesn't turn into a standoff.
And then go
something worse.
Go full Gamba mode at
a good sign that there are secondary weapons in that car, because if you're involved in a shooting to where you're getting rid of the others,
at Macau, yeah, all in with the 1 mil big ass plaque, the massive emerald plaque, bang, put that shit on red, boom, that's hard. Then
thoughts that I can't get away, I can't give up, I'm going to go out in a blaze, but you don't want that to happen. And
86 years XQC.
Suspect, just stop the car, follow the commands.
I think it would actually be cinema.
And go to jail and let the judicial.
Some premium Chinese cigs. I think these are kind of rough though. They're a little bit rough on the throat.
All right, you're looking
sure.
live at the last chapter of this particular pursuit.
Some of the Chinese cigs, I mean, they go way too hard. I can't handle all that.
Armed and dangerous. When we picked it up, he was on the, of all places, the 5 freeway.
Instead of cigs, you only do a little barely.
Maybe guessing he crossed the Antelope Valley once. Tried to do it here twice. We're now on West Avenue K and 22nd Street and Westfield Drive, and a spike strip was laid down and was successfully deployed. And
this big ass chase, big climb for some guy to go up in the hills and
toss a weapon out a window. So we don't know if he's still armed and dangerous.
Done an empty road. I mean,
dog in the car with him, from reports that we've heard. But he's been driving pretty much on the rims here for the last 10 minutes or so.
What?
And,
no.
It's just a matter of time before the vehicle is going to come to a stop, and hopefully he will give up peacefully instead of a long standoff. But this is where we're at right now. Again, Tim, why not do a pit now?
Well, I mean,
I was just thinking, I was looking at it, and the speeds are very slow down. They may have additional information about multiple weapons in the car.
It says it right here.
At this speed, when you spin somebody around, they're going to be right next to you when it comes to a stop before you can drive out of it. And so they may have that information, and they don't want an officer to get up there, but it looked like they're coming up on the left-hand side here.
Yeah.
Working its way up. All he has to do is go up and he's going to make the turn. But all the officer has to do is come up on the fender, either left or right, depending on which way he wants to send him.
I mean,
and just
they're going for 100%.
And on the brake and on the gas.
There we go.
Push it around, drive through.
That's like worst case scenario though, a little bit on the angle there.
Right next to him. So that first officer should have driven through and gotten down the road a little bit. But look, it worked out perfectly for him. Now they're stopped, they're facing the suspect. And that normally disables the vehicle as far as turns off the engine, because
no hands out.
The computer systems in these cars will sense the car going in reverse while it's in drive, and that they figure that you're out of control, and they'll shut the engine down so you don't lose more control. So at this point, he has to go through different procedures to get that thing started again. But with no tires on your front end there, with the drive tires, it's hard for you to get any motion going on now. Commands are being given for the suspect to get out of the car with his hands up to where they can see him. And unfortunately, they're straight on with him, so they kind of really, there's no where they look away type thing to where the person is behind you to where they can't really see what you're doing. But plenty of officers there, plenty of
doors open,
weapons drawn, doors open. I see a hand sticking out, and hopefully, just hands are up, stepping out. step, and all he has to do is follow the commands.
Have you ever thought about doing an IRL stream?
Oh, don't do that. He has to lift up his shirt.
Turn around, maybe raise up his shirt.
Classic.
Raise up the shirt so you can see the waistband. Turn around so you make sure.
Wait, there's a whole cock out.
Turn around, walk backwards towards the officers. Get him away from the car.
Yo.
It's normally what.
Yo, you see his thighs, man. This dropped way too low.
Well, you said there's a dog.
It's dropped way too low. It's dropped way too low, man. You can't sight like that. It's way too much.
Backed up, and they more than likely gave him commands to shut the door on the car to keep that dog contained. They'll bring him back. One officer is giving commands at this point. They've already assigned what they have an arrest team.
Dude, I'm actually.
At this point, they'll get him should get him just a little bit further, so they have a little more concealment.
I'm just wondering why you would do all that.
And then turn him around to where he's facing away, and then take.
Jeff, we don't really know all the specifics though. They could have been on the phone with him. They could have been negotiating with. Maybe they de-escalated on the phone. Like maybe he was talking to his folks on the phone.
First thing
like,
they do is handcuff him, and then.
Well, people are fidgeting in the car and be on the phone. You never know what's actually going on.
At this point, the officer is asking about the car, about the dog.
Whatever.
Anything in the car that might hurt me. Then usually a team of 4.